This conference will now be recorded. This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning. Team, are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So from yesterday, we have walked through all the things, right? So what is DevOps and what is the DevOps tools it will be, and how the CI/CD how CI/CD will looks like, right? So what are the multiple stages in CI/CD, and how the environments will be in the lower, what is the lower environments in the non-prod, and what is the environment in the prod, right? So for today's session, right? So let's start with what you are looking for. Usually, I will take a couple of tools and I'll close the thing, and then I'll mark today what is your requirement today. So you guys, right? Yesterday, a few of them have the queries, right? So few of them have some queries. So today I'll note down the things and I'll address all the things. Okay. Just done. Can someone let me know what you exactly looking in this? Please unmute yourself and let me know, or else ping me in the chat. Okay. No requirement today. Okay. So let's move on. Okay. I'll let you. So first of all, I'm audible to you guys. Let someone ping me yes or no if I'm audible or not.
Yes, audible.
Okay. Okay, fine. That's fine. Okay, good. So going forward, right? So this workshop, right? This workshop intention is to have some working session, and also to make you in a real-time project. Like example, if you are into an organization where you started working and you are not sure how the tools will be looking like, right? So as you are trained in the DevOps and a cloud can be AWS or Azure, but how the real-time environments will look actually. So to make sure you to comfort and so we will build up the gain or confidence to you so that you will not feel any new things when you enter an organization. So our main intention for this is to make you a comfort once you are into organization, and also make you to prepare an interview and feel confidently, like, so whatever you have done now is theoretical, right? So you have into a couple of things, right? So our career IT is also giving okay, having a sessions in DevOps and AWS as well. So if you guys are interested, let's have this course. Once you have completed that course, the work session or the real-time project will really help you to make the things. Okay. So because this is what I'm trying to show is exactly what you have after done the course. Okay. So either once you completed the DevOps course, you will make sure what is Ansible, what is Jenkins, what is an SS or Artifactory, what purpose we do all this CI/CD, what is the index of CI/CD, and all together. Okay. So now I'll move forward to another tool called Ansible. Okay. Ansible is more widely a deployment tool where we can do an operation. Okay, and you can perform on any operations connecting to a remote mission with set of AML language. So Ansible will be the AML language. Okay, so this I'll try to show you one demo and all together. So for that Ansible I already installed in the one of the both. Okay, and I created one instance in AWS, and okay, so let me know if you are not able to see any screen or any disturbance in the screen or something. Okay. So I installed all the Ansible server there, and I'm trying to show you today. Okay, so how Ansible and all together it will work. Okay, so usually coming back to Jenkins. Okay, wherever you install the Jenkins, it will by default the server it will run onto the own node. Okay, Jenkins, we need to create a node where to connect to an external interface and then execute that Ansible server. So we have a two differentiate servers, right? One is Jenkins and another Ansible. How do you connect from Jenkins to Ansible? And example, if you want to, let us assume this is one of the server and this is the Ansible server. So what we do, right, in Jenkins, we will create a node so that that node will be an Ansible node and will execute the operations on Ansible and will connect to a remote mission to Minikube and will perform some operation. You got it right, what I'm trying to say? So let the sessions to be interactive. If anyone not able to understand or something, just please let me know. Okay. I think you guys can unmute yourself and let me know. Are you trying to get? So okay. Let me show you the things. Okay. So in a theoretical way, Ansible will be installed into one of the servers. Let us assume Ansible is installed in 1.1.1. server, and your target box or the deployment box. Okay. Or we can call them, yeah, a deployment box. It is an SIT or DIT or anything. Okay, it can be a QA box. Okay, box or server. Okay, in the server you have to install that. Okay, for SIT, let us assume that your box is 2.2.2 and DIT you have 3.3.3. Okay, in QA your server IP will be 4.4.4. Okay, so what I'm trying to do, right? My Jenkins server is installed in 0.0 example. Okay. Okay. So what I'm trying to do, right? So from Jenkins, I will connect to Ansible and will execute the Ansible playbooks. Okay. And connect to remote server to the target box and will perform the operations. So are you able to picture clearly now? So I'm trying to make you clear. So to connecting Ansible to Jenkins, Jenkins to Ansible, Jenkins has a concept called node. Okay. In that node, we will create one node, its name as Ansible. Okay. And we'll run our node or agent. Okay. You can call anything. Okay. Okay. We'll run our Jenkins agent in Ansible to connect Jenkins to Ansible. Okay. Once you get this connectivity, so you can execute Ansible scripts using Jenkins. So once we connectivity is established with Ansible, right? So you can write your playbook stories, tasks, roles. So I don't want to go what is Ansible and all together, because that will be covered all the things in the your course. Okay. So I'll try to show you one sample example how Ansible playbook will be executed. Okay. And how the things will be happen. Okay. For that, what I'm trying to do, right? Okay. So to create any node in the Jenkins, so we have an option called nodes. Okay. In the Jenkins. Okay. Just try to create a node. Okay. Just create a new node, put anything and select as a permanent node. Okay. And just create it. Once you create the node, okay. So example, once you create a node, so just I created the node with this. Okay. So in this, you will have a multiple options like, okay, the Ansible node, how many executors you want to do it. Okay. You can put a minimum 5 executors, because if you want, if this one node will be configured to n number of Jenkins jobs. If you have a more jobs to be configured, you have to increase the more number of executors. So I just give all this configuration and just save that. Okay. And you will have this command to be here. Okay. So this is what the command you need to execute in the Ansible server, so that the connectivity from Ansible to Jenkins will be established. Okay. So just what I'm trying to do is, okay. Okay. So this is an Ansible server. Okay. So I'm into a var directory. Okay. I'm downloading the agent. Okay. So you just right click here and copy this address. Okay. And just put this agent to be downloaded. Once you have agent downloaded, you have to run the script in given format. Okay. To make script to be executed in the background, you know, right? Ampersand is a symbol for the Linux to run that. Okay. So it doesn't want to display any output in the command line. So I just put a know how. Okay. Now you can see the output in the thing. So it's what it's saying, right? It ran the query and it's able to connect it to here. Previously, you see, right, there's a crossmark appear in the Ansible agent, right? It is not connected. Now I'll refresh this. So it will be connecting. Okay, so now the agent is connected. So now Jenkins to Ansible connectivity is established. Okay, so you got it right. Now Ansible to Jenkins. Okay, so now 0001 as a Jenkins server is able to connect to Ansible, and it can execute the playbooks with the whatever things we have. Okay, for that, so I just
Any
created an
plugins?
Ansible job. Okay, this is an Ansible job. Okay, let me show you how to invoke the Ansible playbooks in the Jenkins. Okay, we have a plugin called Invoke Ansible. Okay, so I'll try to show you the configurations. So I have written my playbooks and I saved it in the Git repo Ansible demo. So okay, what is the Git repo? Okay. This Git repo I saved as an Ansible demo. Okay, in Ansible demo I created a few files. Okay, a host file. A host file, just you want to specify what is the server you have to connect. Example, that's what I told you, right? It can be, you need to specify the target host where you need to connect. Okay, so this, you can mention this, what is the target host here. Sorry. You need to mention this inventory, we called as this an inventory. So you can mention this thing here, and this playbooks will be having whatever your playbooks you have to do, you can give it. Okay, so run this minikube status on the minikube file so that you'll try to understand what how it is able to connect here. Okay, so from Ansible server to minikube, I'm trying to get this thing. Okay, so I'll add a few more things as well to this Ansible playbook. Okay, minikube status. Okay, so able to see this minikube status, right? And I'll add one more task here. So syntax should be very clear. Okay, so there should not be any spaces or any additional spaces. Okay, QTL get pods. So I'll get the status for get pods as well. Okay, with this, I have done my playbook role done. Okay, so I committed my changes here. Okay, I'm going back to the host file. Okay, so I'm going to edit this as well. And updating the host file of minikube. So updated my host name as well. I'm going back to Jenkins job. Okay, I'll update the playbook. So you guys see, right? So should I show you, right, how to integrate with SCM? So just I selected the Git and what is the project Ansible thing, and I'm in the main branch. So I selected this as a main branch. Okay, and coming down, so just whatever file we have, it is now minikube.yaml file, right? So just update this minikube.yaml here, and inventories will remain same as a host file. Okay, right? So usually to connect to the box, we have two types of connectivity. Okay, Ansible can connect to the target host using two things. Okay, one is with the key pair. Okay, key pair is SSH key pair, and with direct credentials like usernames and password. Okay, so to make Ansible to connect a remote mission, so what, right? Ansible example, Ansible will run with Ansible user. Okay, so in Ansible user, you have to generate the key pair, public and private, and public will share to the target boxes. Okay, Okay, whatever user you want to connect, right? So example, the target box, you have to connect with JBoss user. Okay, in this box you have to connect with JB Tomcat user. Okay, in this box you have to connect with Apache user. Okay, in that case you just need to mention, you need to add that key into that authorized file. Okay, authorized keys. You guys will let you know once you have that tutorial completed, or once you have completed your course, you'll have a better idea on it. So coming to the chat, I'm audible, right? So as I see, no one is responding. So okay, someone asked, do you require any Ansible plugin for Ansible? Exactly. So for, yeah, Ansible plugin needs to be installed. Okay, so this is what we require. Okay, Invoke Ansible playbook is a plugin. Okay, so okay, Invoke Ansible plugin is required. We that in the Ansible playbook, we'll just mention the path, right? So if you are into not in a root path, example, if you are into a different path, like in Ansible demo, if you are into subfolders and you have to give the exact path of that. Okay. And example, what I'm trying to say is, in Ansible demo, you have other folder called demo. In that, you have that minikube.ml file. You have to mention the full path of that, saying that demo.ml demo slash minikube.ml file. Okay. So coming back to it, the authentication algorithms, right? And Ansible to remote mission authentication algorithms will be two types. Okay, SSH key and credentials. SSH key is a little old algorithm where now initial maybe nowadays maybe are you guys able to hear me now? Okay, thanks. Oh, okay, so someone has asking some questions. I have a question in the real time. We have only private IPs, right? Then how we can connect to Jenkins same as like private IP? Yeah, like so for a demo purpose, I'm trying to show you other things, right? Like IP colon 8080, but usually, right, we'll have the DNS example. If you're working for a TCS, something like tcs.jenkins.com or something, a DNS will be created to private IP, not private IP. So you'll have a public IP, but it will not be accessible for outside the thing. You have to connect. Once you are in an organization, there will be a concept called ODC, right? In the ODC, so if you connect to ODC, in that ODC only it will be accessible, that public URL. Usually we'll have one DNS name. So you know, right? DNS name, what is mean by DNS name? So it will always result some IP, example like gmail.com, right? So you'll have some friendly URL where you can remember, okay, onejenkins.tcs.com. So that you just log into that and you perform the operations there. Okay, if it is a smaller company or something, just you have a private IP where usually you log in with 8080 port as usual, what I'm trying to do. Okay, but it will be accessible only into the VPN. So once you connect it to the VPN, then only it will be accessible to that. Okay, I hope I answered this your question. Okay. Okay, moving forward, the algorithms, right? I told you, right? There's two algorithms. Okay, one is SSH key and other is credentials. Credentials is something like you'll pass username and passwords, okay, into an extra variables of Ansible. Okay, I'll try to show you what I'm done. Okay, I just passed some extra variables. Okay, okay. So in extra variables, I mentioned Ansible user is equal to Ansible. I have hidden some variable where that is a password. Okay. Okay, you can just Ansible password, and the password is a thing. Okay, to connect Ansible user to a remote host, this is what we have to try to do. Okay, for that, what you have to try to do, right? So you have to create an Ansible here in the kubectl box and set the password to. So example, this is a remote box where Minikube is installed. Okay, so just to this root user, and we don't have the Ansible user here. So create Ansible user. Okay, that Ansible user, sorry. Okay, some not to Arjuna, not to Arjuna. Okay, and to make this right, as it's an AWS, we have to add one more command in sudo so that it will not ask password for sudos. Okay, so okay, so just need to add this in vi sudo. Okay, so that it will not ask the password to prompt to be sudo. Okay, maybe in your demo you will get to, sorry, in your course sessions, right? They will explain what is this. Okay, I'm not briefing anything detail, but this is all to be done in the course. Okay, so just I want to make sure all the things to be done quickly. Okay, in AWS specific, so usernames and passwords, this is only for AWS specific. Okay, so for a test account, so they will not allow to use the passwords. Okay, so just I'm enabling that. Okay, just give me a second. There's a parameter password, so that we need to enable, so that yeah, password authentication. Okay, okay, just comment this and enable this and restart the SSH. Okay, just now now all the things has been done. Just start executing the Ansible playbook and see. the initial step. So usually now it's downloaded. Okay. So I want to make it. Okay. So you go phase by phase. Okay. Initially, the initial plugin is a Git cloning plugin. Okay. So it downloads the Ansible demo Git. Excuse me. Okay. And once it downloaded the code, the Invoke Ansible plugin. The Invoke Ansible plugin, what it will do the beyond is it will run the Ansible playbook and whatever YAML file we mention in that, and it mentions with inventory. I is an inventory file name. Okay. Inventory file name is the host. Okay. Just give me a minute. Okay. Okay. Inventory has a host, and then it pass an e is an extra variables. Okay. Hyphen e is an extra variable. As of now, it shows Ansible user and Ansible. I have hidden that Ansible parameter. It should not be viewed in the console output. Okay. So just it is showing in the masked parameters, because no one should, only the user or admin should only have the passwords of this. Okay. So now it's connected to a remote host. Okay. Minikube, right? So this is what we mentioned in this host file. You can cross check again. So 243.0, right? 243.0 is the Minikube box. Okay. So it is what it tried to connect it here. Okay. And it connected to this box, and it display what is the command we given, minikube status. Okay. It tried to showing the minikube status. That what it is showing is it is running. Okay. Control panel is running and showing all these things. Okay. And what is the other command we gave is kubectl get pods. So kubectl get pods, we have one pod running, or is a test mini pod running, and it is status from last 85 minutes it is running. Okay. So you got me right. So with this, you can try to do whatever things you require, like that. So with this remote connectivity, you are able to establish that. You can write a number of things, whatever you said. Okay. In the demo, you can find what is the host name of the remote host. But it is not as simple as the demo what I given. So let example, if you want to write the deployment, okay, deployment scripts, right? Or if you want to deploy the things in the, let example, I'll put the multiple tasks here. So debug, I think debug all these things you got to know what is the register where I'll tell a basic view. So let's example take in a deployment for a normal operations. Okay. So for CI/CD, what we've done, I'll try to show you the other part. Okay. So yesterday, okay, I'll compare all the things and we'll close the entire CI/CD. What will be there? Okay. Till yesterday, we have run the pipeline where we uploaded to Artifactory, right? So Artifactory is an SSCAN. Now the other deployment, right? The other one is called so deployment, right? So yesterday I also given. Okay. So instead of okay, sorry, this is not what we discussed. Okay, this is what. Okay. So this, let us assume that this is what we right. And so after after SSCAN, we are trying to do the dit deployment. Okay. So what we do, right? We will create a dit host name and deploy.yaml file, and we'll pass the variables here. Okay. So either you can give hyphen extra variables, or in a small thing hyphen e also you can give it. Okay. So with that, I'll try to show you. Okay. Let's assume that okay. Let's create sorry, dit host. Okay. Is a dit server. Okay, I'm just trying to show you a simple thing, but I'll not execute. This is what only the only very high level I'm trying to show you. Okay, just so I created the dit host, and I created a file called dit deployment. Dit deployment, but this is a simple thing where I'm trying to show you, because we can also write in more reusable functions. We can create one deployment YAML file, and we can pass the parameters either dit, UAT, sit, whatever parameters. But for a simple view, I'm just trying to show you. Okay, so okay, just I'm created the basic empty file. Okay, and I'll copy the syntax and I'll try to write up some. Sorry. Okay. So in the host I will mention as a dit server because I write the host name as dit server, right? So what I will do, right? Stop the application server. What is the process of deployment usually? So you guys need to understand what is the process of deployment, right? So to do any deployment, usually what we do, right? Stop the application. It can be two ways. One thing is stop the application. Instead of stopping the application, we can download the first thing. Also, we can download the latest jar or war file from the artifactory. Okay. So artifacts, we call it artifacts. It can be any vendor, right? It can be Nexus or JFrog Artifactory. Okay. It depends upon the organizations use what artifactory it is, but the general procedure will be there. So we have that. You can either use the wget commands of Linux, or else you will have get URL, an Ansible own predefined function. Sorry, get URL. Okay. So sorry. So it's a Linux command. It will be like this is like a Ansible predefined command. Okay. So in the stop the application example, if it's in a Tomcat, okay. So what the things will be there? Okay. User local Tomcat bin Catalina Lena.sh stop. So once you've done the Tomcat stop, right? So then you have to copy the latest jar to WebApps folder. Okay. So copy example, usually we'll download all the things into a temp directory /temp directory. And once you copy example, so okay, demo.jar file to user local Tomcat web apps. Did anyone work with Tomcat? They will know what I'm trying to do. So web apps is a folder where you have to copy the jar file. Okay, and this process we called as a deployment. Okay, the deployment. Okay, before copying that, we have to back up the existing one. Okay, so what we do, right? So demo.jar as, so hyphen, I'm putting into a Linux command -date. So what it will do, right? It will rename. Sorry, it will not copy. So it will move. Actually, it need to move. It will move demo.jar with hyphen with today's date. And once you copy this into here, so this is what the entire deployment process. Okay. Once you have done the deployment, so you have to bring back the application again. Okay. So start the application. Okay. This is not as simple actually, but I'm trying to show you a simple example. But you will have a number of processes, like if it is a Tomcat, it's just simple. But for WebLogic and altogether, we have to do a number of processes, and you do the health checks. Health checks, right? Example, health checks will be like curl-v http example if 1.1.1:8080 health is the URL. Okay. Health URL. If it responds back with grep with okay, response. Okay, if it get response, and then so what you take that, let's take it into a variable. Okay, what you take rest equal to variable. Okay, if response code, okay, equal to 200, Then this is all this Linux, right? You guys know, right? The shell script, okay? This is command, okay? Okay, Linux, okay, yes. So echo health check yes. Give me a second, okay. Health check is good, okay. Else health checks failed and you just put echo exit one, okay? Exit one and close if else. So are you trying to catch me? Or let's have it. Just you have to write this playbook, okay? You have to write this playbook accordingly. So just I'll move as quick as, okay? Stop the application, right? So stop the application, show in the shell. Okay. Sorry. Okay. And just you debug the output, okay? And then either you depends upon this. You can download first or stop the. You can depend download the latest jar, okay? So example wget and we'll take the necessary URL yesterday what we designed, okay? So http, okay, slash what is our space actually yesterday we created, right? Workshop demo, okay? Under workshop demo, okay, slash what is the right? So websocket demo.jar, okay? This jar you have to download. You can do it in cd/temp, okay? So you will have the latest war file here, okay? And then okay, deployment, right? Deployment, okay? So deployment, we can run these commands whatever we have, okay? So what we have that, okay? So move this to the whole jar, okay? Semicolon, and copy the latest var, okay? What is this? Okay, WebSocket jar, right? As you have to put this just demo.jar, okay? So we are moving this WebSocket demo icon something into this demo.jar, okay? And moving forward, this is what we start do the deployments, and then we'll bring up the application. So this is what so right, and then followed by the health checks. So this syntax not to be clear, but I'm trying to health checks, okay? So start application, okay? Start, okay? And health checks is whatever we have written the logic there, okay? Sorry, it doesn't require the syntax, okay? So this is what usually we do. So I'll stop here. Let me know if any queries here. So we'll go that as a deployment and we'll do that, okay? So similar as we will create for testing. So this is for SIT, right? And we'll create SIT deployment and SIT hostings, and it will until we'll go for the next end-to-end environment. Any questions? With this, I will close with Ansible. Anything specific in Ansible or okay? So if you install a fresh Jenkins and all together, right, in the manage plugins, okay, you go to manage Jenkins, and that you can go to manage plugins, and you can find Ansible, okay. So as already installed, right, it will be in the installable, okay. Install, okay. So you'll have Ansible plugin, that is Ansible ad hoc and Ansible tower. Ansible tower is one more thing, is an enterprise version. Usually a few of the companies will use this Ansible tower, okay, so that it have multiple options. Ansible tower is something like it doesn't require to install in any one of the Ansible server. Ansible tower, it's a part of what we can say, the entire package will come into that, okay. So all the variables and all the servers will be, the Ansible tower is giving the support for that, okay. So it's not an open source. Ansible plugin is an open source plugin. Let me stop here and let me know if anything specific you require. And then we'll move on to Docker. After deployment is done, we can configure the communication and just implement. Yeah. So for that, you will have the post, right? A post, what we can say, one second, name, right? Post build operations. Okay. So in the post build operations, you can just put mail plugin. Okay. So once this is what the Ansible job, right? So till time in the build operations, you have done this, right? Ansible, and in the post build operations you can put it, okay. There will be a mail, okay. Mail plugin will be there, okay. Email notification, okay. So in the sorry, okay, email notification, right? Yeah, in the email notification, so you should be space example to Arjuna at gmail.com, some the space separated emails, okay, or some career IT, okay, IT at gmail.com or something, and you will have a multiple options you can configure. So send email for every unstable, okay. So for successful email, if you don't want to get a notified, you can just uncheck this. For everyone, for every mail you want to get it, you can uncheck this. If you want only for unstable, that means only build failure. If you have only build failure, you can get. This is just sample parameter, but if you want all the attachments and all together, then they will be edible email notification. You need to use this plugin, okay. So in that, um, it will show you, it will attach the build log as well, okay. So attach the build log, okay, and so you can write this, okay. This project is from Ansible. You can write this all together, so you can easily identify what email it is, Ansible job, okay. And if you want to get the same recipients, right, this, or else if you put it a default reply, you can editable. This is an editable email, okay, and you are also having an attachment of build log together, okay. Anything other than that? Anything? Okay, I'll move on to Docker. So I'm not going to explain what is Docker and what is a containerization and all together, because you guys has to go through all the tutorials, sorry, this course, and then you should learn that, okay. So, and okay, Docker has been already installed in one of the box, so in a mini tutorial, okay. So even the engine also installed. to make sure whether Docker is running or not. Usually, I didn't start as a system starter. So usually I need to start whenever I require. Okay, Docker images. Okay, so this Docker images will try to show you what are the local images that is there. Okay, I'll start with basic image or basic code of hello world Java, and with that, or else any Go language or any simple HTML language. And I'll also try to show you how you get that to be Dockerized. Okay, what is a base Docker image and how you Dockerize. So initially, right, Docker is something it's always a part of virtual machine, but into some form of containerization. Like so, what we can call is in one Docker you can run n number of containerizations. Okay, so example. So in the if you see my screen right in the Docker images, if you are able to see right, there is a Docker hello world program is running by default. One more run arg2 Arjuna Docker running, and other sonar keep is running. Okay, with that, so I doesn't require any multiple VMs or instance to be created to one for sonar cube, one for executing some hello world or something. So in the existing machine itself, Docker will create a space where you can run an n number of operations or n number of processes together into a single thing. Okay. The more theoretical, maybe you will learn it in the course. Okay. So I'll try to show you some Java, simple program where you can start. Even you can also try this in this once you install all Docker and together, right? And maybe you can look for that as well. Okay. So okay, this is what I'm trying to show you guys. Okay. So this is a simple Java hello program. So what it will try to do, it will print you an hello world once you have written some program. Okay. Let me stop if you have any other questions or something. So I'll give you a 5 minutes time so that we can have some interaction. So that what exactly you're looking for, you can. And I'm reinitiating the thing. So it is more of a workshop. Do not expect something theoretical. What is Docker and all together, because I'm telling here, right? Because this is not where you just learn what is what. But if you already know what is Docker and all together, you know how to execute all these things. Okay. I'm just getting. You should not aware of just Java or something, but I'm trying to show up because I want some executable output so that you can understand the things. Okay. This is just a sample Java program. What it will write is simple. I think if you know that, right, CPP or something, you know that printf instead of printf in Java you use a system.out standard line. So I'm just written as some Java, and I'm just compiling that Java compiler with hello world. Just give me a break for 5 minutes. I'll be back. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, guys, I'm back. So please someone confirm back and are able to hear it. Yeah, thanks. So you're able to see my screen, right? So now I have written some small Java class. So in a public where you can see, excuse me, yeah. This is a public method where hello world is just some function where it statically defines the hello world is a variable output. Okay, in that Java class I just compiled that. Okay, so just now I'm creating a Docker file. The Docker file where give me a second. Okay, so this is what we have till now. So I'll create a Docker file. Docker file is something like so the from syntax identifies to get the image that is a base image. Okay, I'll explain what is a Docker file, and with that you'll try to know what is that. Okay, so just moving on. This is what the Docker file. Okay, so from indicates so what is the thing you have to get it. Okay, OpenJDK. How to know what is the base images and all together, right? So we can do. Okay, so I'll save this and we'll come back. Okay, so what images are available in the Docker? You can search it. Okay, Docker search images. Okay, you can see all these images. Okay, right? So if you these are base images. So if you want to search with JDK, so maybe you can grab with JDK. Okay, if you want to take for Node.js or Java, so Java there's no name with Java, so Node.js. Anything Node.js or not there. So these are the basic images. Okay, so you have WebSphere, Liberty. Okay, um, so okay, no Java versions, right? JDK, right? You can see, right? OpenJDK. Okay, OpenJDK or some Eclipse official images for OpenJDK library built in. Okay, um, from this you can take it. Okay, so you can search with this also. I think JDK star something. We have some other arguments. Okay, okay. Let's this. Yeah, JDK versions. So usually whenever Docker, right, usually it will pick from the hub.docker. Okay, that's a common repository where it will pull back the images. Okay, so you can use this. Okay, JDK. Okay, whatever versions you want, you just need to mention the version name there. Okay, if you doesn't mention the version, it will default take the 11 version. Okay, so if you want the latest version till 18 we have, right? So whatever version you want to mention this. Okay, so the OpenJDK image will be downloaded from the Docker Hub, and then in the Docker file add is a function where you have to add the local files into a Docker file. Okay, from that entry point is that where you want to execute the Java. Example, okay, coming back here, I'll tell you. Okay, so in the Docker file, what are the points, right? You will have. So in the Docker file, from will take the images from the Docker Hub. It will pull locally. Okay, and then add. Okay, sorry. and then add local hello world dot Java class into the same as hello world dot class, and entry point is whenever the Docker to be extracted, okay, so or else the Docker to be in the run state, so it need to run the hello world class, okay, that's what it's trying to show you. It's Java and it mentioning this, okay. So you have the Docker file ready and the Docker was been installed in the box, and then to make sure how to build the Docker, right? So you just mentioned Docker build -t. T is an options where you can pass the tag, okay, -t or --tag. Just mention what image you have to build it, okay. So just I'm putting into hello world Docker, okay. Before that, what I'm trying to do, right? I'll delete the images what we already have it, okay. So Docker images, right? So Docker, okay. Oh, that's fine. Okay. Docker build -t. Okay. So in the tags, I'll mention that hello world dot docker. Okay. And what I need to build is will show you in the. Okay. So from this, what you try to get it right? From JDK, it downloaded the JDK, and then it added the hello world dot class file into a Docker, and it's a container, and it has the tag value. So if you see that images, so 19 seconds ago, okay, image size of 464 MB, a Docker image is locally ready. Okay, till time the whatever you have that right a Docker, you take from the base Docker image and you added some extra flavors, right, in that or whatever, right, whatever code you have, and you again made one more Docker image, and that Docker image is Docker hello world is the name for the Docker image, and it has that image ID will be the unique one. Okay, so 19 seconds ago it was been created and it was been there in locally. So what you have to do, right? You have to push this Docker hello world program into Docker Hub, where that Docker image will available publicly. Publicly, in fact, you have to deploy it in Kubernetes or something, or where you have to download and run it in any other Dockers also. You just need to publish that image into Docker Hub. It is something like an SS or JFrag artifact, right? Previously, what we done, right? We have using Maven, we built some jar file, and where some centralized repository to store the jar files, right? What we do, we have uploaded into an SS. The same way, so just you have created Docker image, and that is only available in locally, and you have to publish that into Docker Hub. For to publish it into Docker Hub, just you have to log into Docker Hub. Okay, just so what it will do, right? I already logged in, so I just it took the credentials. Usually, what it will do, that if you took the Docker login, it will ask the username and password, and just you have to enter. And Docker Hub is also a free account. Okay, so maybe you can register and you can create the Docker Hub. Okay, so I'll try to show you one thing. Till anyone any questions? Okay, so Docker Hello Web, right? 8 days back, I just published this image, so you can see, right? Now I'll again publish this image. Okay, to publish that image, what we have to do, right? You just need to add the tag so that it will be identified the Docker. So once you logged into Docker Hub, right? You just need to add this. Okay, so images. Okay, so Docker tag that image. okay, into the Docker hyphen latest. So you have to just mention what is your, okay, what is your ID. This is ID is a Docker Hub ID, and this is your local program, and you are attaching it as to as the latest one. Okay, let me stop here. Let me know if you have any challenges to understand this altogether. Okay, please let me know, because this is very important thing where usually we do all these things. Okay, so now from locally to thing we are uploading to Docker Hub. Okay, so you just see what is the last push, right? 8 days ago, right? If I now I refresh that, it will have the just minute ago, or it will be a few seconds ago. The latest tag was been uploaded. Okay, so you can define a number of repositories. So you can just upload whatever things you have it. Okay, so I have hello world, Go, Docker, all base images. You can do that. Okay, so if you want to pull that image locally again, right? So let's assume that okay, I'll go to one more box. Let's go to this. So Docker images, right? So I went to a new box. Okay, so Docker image. I don't have any hello world program here, right? So what I will do, right? I'll log into Docker Hub. Once I log into Docker Hub, I can pull that image. Okay, pull image. Previously, what I done, right? I pushed the image to Docker Hub. Now I'm pulling the image to other box. Okay, in the Docker. Now you can see the Docker. You can see, right? Docker hello latest was been came down, and 5 minutes ago it was been created. Previously you have seen, right? There is no Docker image. So before I'm not, I never pull that. Okay. So okay. So any questions or anything? Okay. In this box I have built a Docker. Sorry. In this box I have built the Docker, and in the other box I downloaded the Docker. So we have push and pull. Okay, push is something to upload, and pull is to something download the thing. Okay, once you download the code locally, so you want to make sure how it is working or run, how it is running, right? So you can run this command. Okay, Docker run hello. What is the container you have it, and just put the what is the tag you want to run it. Okay, so okay, so if you run locally, you just need to mention that. So it is showing hello comma world. Okay, this is where I pull the image from Docker Hub into other box, and I just run that. Okay, and this is the box where I locally build it. Okay, so in that you can see the Docker images. So it will name as just Docker Hub hello world only, right? So if you want to run that, you can run it here. Just run this image icon ID also without latest. Also you can do this. Okay, so the repository doesn't exist. Okay, any questions still there? So how to build the Docker, upload, push, pull, all the things you have it, right? So how to log in Docker also, you can run that. Okay, Docker run and you can log into your console, or we can call the shell, and you can see that. Okay, this will be the command. Okay, docker run to shell. So you have to see what is there in the docker execute, right? So you run the docker execute, and you can see what is there in that image as well. Okay, you just put docker execute and what is your container name, and go to that and see what is there in that. Okay, you got me right. So if you want to add one more, docker images are always only in the read only mode. Okay, you cannot write anything in the docker images. You can just see what is there in that. Okay, docker execute. This is the container, right? Sorry. No such container. Okay. So if it is okay, so this is what we have. Okay, so what it is saying, error response demo is not running. Okay, I think we need to pass some extra on that. Yeah, I can. Okay, somehow, but so you try to got me right. What I'm trying to say, just you can do whatever things in the Docker. And one more thing is Docker Composer. So Docker Composer is something. So whatever you do right till date. So let me put here. We have one more plugin or one more thing we call the Docker Composer. In Docker Composer, what you can do, right? We can do upload, build and upload into a single command. So Docker Compose is one of the things. So what you have to write is Docker compose.yaml file or whatever, okay, YAML file, and they will have a particular syntax for that, and you have to mention where is your local code and where you have to upload. I'll try to show you one Docker sample, okay, Docker Compose sample. It is a combination of build and upload, okay. So for that, I'll try to show you one example, okay. Docker Compose YAML file, it will a combination of things, okay. So it will build together and deploy as well. Sorry, not deploy. In fact, it will publish the things into artifact, okay, artifact or Docker Hub. What is happening? Okay, fine. So Docker Compose, this is an YAML file, right? Okay. So in that you have to mention build, okay. What is the path of build? You have to mention that. In that you have to mention what is a Docker file, okay. And what are the ports you are exposing? You just need to mention that, and you name this, okay. And once you have done that, what it will do, right? It will do Docker build and upload as well, and it will also execute the thing. Okay, so this is the reference for building. Okay, so you can take this arguments and you can pass it. Once you are done, you just need to start Docker Composer start. Once you start that, you can see Docker Composer hyphen. Okay, so these are the commands. Okay, Docker Compose hyphen up hyphen D. So it is like a detach the Docker Composer, and where you have to mention the file as the Docker Composer.yaml file. What it will do, right? Whatever steps you have mentioned in the Docker Composer.yaml, it will do the things. Okay, it will build the things based on the Docker file. It will read it and it will execute it and it will process them. Okay, Docker Composer up, Composer down, and also PS will show you the number of images where it will be available. So for now, I'll stop the Docker and let me know if you have any challenges or any questions here. Now I'm moving to Kubernetes. Okay, so Kubernetes we have a multiple thing. Okay, so we have a multiple nodes and a single node. Okay, where for a demo purpose I'm just giving up as a single node. Okay, that is we have for a single node we have so many things. One is a mini cube. Okay, and other one is M cube, and we have some other things. But where I just installed mini cube for now. So this is what we have that. Okay, so this is all the installation steps, but maybe once we have a full-fledged of time, so I'll try to show you. But as a high-level overview, this is a Minikube where we have to install some virtualization software and followed by Minikube. And once you get this right, so let me start this instance. Okay. So Minikube. Okay. Sorry, it's a Jenkins server. Ansible. It's a Minikube server. Okay. This is Minikube server. Okay. So Minikube is running. So you just do not want to just let me come up with the start. Okay. If you're running as a root user as Minikube, you just need to mention what is you need to identify it's a force so that Docker drivers will run as a root user. Okay. Okay. Let's go to we freshly install that. Okay. Okay. So Minikube cluster has been deleted. Now I'm just starting up freshly. Okay. So Minikube has been started, and we have a default namespace. Okay, the Minikube. And if you want to check what is the Minikube status, you can do that. Okay. And if you want to see the Minikube add-ons, also you can see what is add-ons is something like a dashboard. Okay, and what else we have, the storage process and all together. So if you want to install the dashboard, also you can install the dashboard. Okay. By default, we have enabled only the storage provisioning and the default storage process. Okay. So if you want to see what is the people get nodes. So we had only one Minikube node. That is what the control panel node. Okay. So that's right. So we don't have any ports in the default namespace. Okay. Just will start up with one thing. So these are the basic commands. Okay. So if you want to see what is the cluster info. Okay. So the kubectl, you can just put it. What is the cluster info? Cluster info, it is showing that Kubernetes control panel is running on this and the core DNS. So further more debug, you just run this. Okay. Info dump, actually it will try to show you all the list of things. What is the version, what is the cluster IPs, what is the node specific you have it, and what are the, it acts as a one internal node as well, right? So what is the replication states and all together. So once you get it right, let's have created a sample application. So what I'm trying to create, right? I'm creating a deployment of Minikube, okay? And I'm getting the image from Kubernetes image. So this is where we get the image version is 1.10. Okay, just I'm trying to create a deployment. Even you can just run with the command and argument, or else what you can do, right? You can create some YAML file, okay, deployment.yaml file, and you can mention this. So in the two ways, I'll try to show you. So just okay, I'm just creating a deployment. So if you get the get pods, right, get nodes, so you will see that, okay, the Minikube, okay. So it is trying to create the container was trying to be created. So it is trying to get the image. Okay. So you can see the status. Okay. So now the container was created and it is now running. So if you want to see the detailed view of pod, you can run the kubectl describe pod. Okay. Describe pod and pod name, so that you can see the what is the in-depth details of the pod. Okay. So this is what the pod details. Okay. So the pod details, right? So it assigns one public IP to this, and it pull the image. Okay, Docker pullable. Okay, so it got the image from here. Okay, status here, and this is what the image and now it is running and started on this. And what is the readiness pod, container pod, and pod schedulers, and everything has been true. Okay, so initially this started like this. Okay, you know the kubelet, right? Kubelet and kubectl. So I'll let you know all the things. Okay, so it started creating the echo container, and it created the container. Once it created the container, it pulled the image. Okay, it pulled the image from this, and then it's successfully running. Okay, now it is successfully running. Okay, so with this, now we had the pod. Okay, now we have the running pods. So what we need to see, right? Whether we need to see whether this pod is working or not, right? So for that, we will expose the pod to particular port so that we can visible on the thing. Okay, so just I will expose this port to 8080 to node port. Okay, You got right what I'm trying to show you? Let me ask if you have any other questions. So, okay, so I'll try to show you this. Okay, this URL will be accessible to this pod. Okay, you want to see what is happening in this? Just you can do this curl -v and force this IP. Sorry, and it will display the output of this. Okay, so okay, so this is what the URL you have it. It tried to connect it, and we got the response 200. Okay, okay, and it's trying to show you the host name is mini test cube and information what we have is, and IP, what is the get method, and everything it is showed. Okay, the requested URL is in all the things, right? So one Kubernetes pod was been deployed and installed, and we are able to see and serve the traffic to this. Okay. Any questions on this? Sorry. So, sorry. So you know how to get the pods and all the things, right? So get pods, describe pods, and if you want to, okay, increase the pod also, you can just do this. Okay, scale. Okay, let me get this deployment. Okay, so we have the deployment as test minikube, and it is one by one, and so it is available to this, right? So if you wanted to scale it to n replicas, okay, scale, deploy, slash test minikubes, hyphen, replicas, 2, 3, sorry. So if you can see now, so it scaled to 3, okay. So if you get the pods, right, you'll see a number of pods to 3, okay. 3 pods are running now, okay. If you want to stop this thing, okay. So now you can see the deployments, they will be, all pods will be terminating, okay. And if you see the deployment, you'll see, sorry, you'll have 0 thing, right. So if you want to restart any pod, this is what the one of the easiest methods. So if you want to restart the pod, you have to remember what is the replicas we have it, and you put it to 0, and it will be stop, all the pods will be stopped, and bring back the pod to 1, okay. Now you'll see the deployments. It is one of one, and now you can see the pods. So you'll have one by one pod running out, okay. So we have a number of comments. I'll try to walk through all the comments, okay. So this is what, okay. So, and one more thing, if you want to see what is, so if you have some errors to troubleshoot and all the things, you want to know what is the logs, or how to see the logs and all together. So you just do the kubectl logs hyphen f, you know, right, is a tile method, okay. So it will follow you the log. Just ping the pod name, and you can see the log. So this is what you can see the logs. Or if you don't want to tile the logs, if you want to redirect the output into some of the logs, right, put that into minikube dot log file, okay. So in that minikube dot log file, you can see that, okay, these are the logs we have, okay. This is what the logs we have, and I already show you, right, how to scale and all the things. So if you want to scale locally, you can do this. If you want to scale manually, okay, so sorry, automatically, so what you can do, right, a minimum 1 and maximum 5, you can scale that, okay. So auto scale, so auto scale algorithm has been applied now. So if you can see what's one by one is running, whenever you have the CPU utilization is more than 10%, so you can see the deployments, okay. So auto scale was been applied to that. So let's hit the URL for time being. Let's see if the percentage of CPU has been increasing or not. So you got me right. Just as of now, we cannot run the test cases, but see, you see, right? So whenever you have the CPU utilizations or CPU percentage is equal to or more than 10, it will scale it into n number of ports maximum to till 5. Okay. So if you want to see what is the number of replicas running here, you can see that. Okay. So let's increase it to 3. So already, right? So already existed. So auto scale is already existed. So what we will do, right? And you can delete the pod as well. Delete the pod is one of the way to restart the pods. Okay. So if you delete the pod, it will recreate it. So that is the what happened? Okay, it recreated. I think so. Okay. So the pod has been deleted, but automatically that is what the Kubernetes v4 for. It automatically re-triggers the event and it makes you to running actually. This is the get pods, right? One is already been terminating and other it automatically comes up. So because of that mechanism only, we want Kubernetes. Kubernetes will auto heal itself. Okay. So if someone deletes the thing, it automatically heal itself and it will bring up automatically by using their own scheduler. Okay. If you want to set some resources so that memory to 512 MB and CPU to 200 memories, you can do that. Okay. You can see what is the history of Minikubes till date. How you can see the what are the terms, right? So only one revision we have it, so there's no history for that. If you have a number of deployments happen, you can see all the rollout history, when it was deployed and what is the status, okay, and all together. So there's no rollout status system, okay. Okay, fine. So yeah, we'll try to do that, okay. So please reach out the organizer. So I'll try to share to them, okay. So you can find that, okay. So basically, what I'm trying to achieve is that as you are in the real time, right? So these are the where usually mostly you will not install all these mini cubes and all together, but so organizations will already have the EKS or AKS or something. They already have it. Usually, will for each application. So if you are into Agile methodology, right? So if you are into Agile methodology, you will be working in arts and all together. Out of that, you are be assigned to one of the project. Okay, let example, you assign to one HR is something is a project. Okay, so for that, so in EKS, you have to clear a cluster. So this is what the real time you have it. Okay, just create a cluster in EKS as one HR as a cluster. Okay, one HR will be the cluster name. Okay, one HR is okay, one HR is as in EKS, right? We have a two regions. One is east and west, right? So you will create east, right? East is one cluster, and you will create one more cluster. West as one cluster. In one east, one HR east cluster, you will have it namespaces. Okay, the namespaces will be okay. Namespaces will be you can be based on your environment. Okay, like the example, one HR did okay space. Okay, we will have one more space called one HR SID space. Okay, in that so right and in the same way you will have one HR prod space. So you'll have the three spaces. So the pipeline, so the Kubernetes, right? Till time you have seen a standard pipeline. So Kubernetes pipeline will be like this, okay? Kubernetes pipeline will be like a pipeline, okay? So okay, so agent, any, so stages, okay? This is a Kubernetes stage pipeline, okay? Okay, stage. So stage will be the first one will be the Docker build, okay? Okay. Before that, stage will be pulling from pull the code, okay? Pull from SCM, Docker build, and the stage will be this will the Sonar Cube, okay? And this will be upload to Docker Hub. Stage will be like deploy to sit namespace. So sorry, dipt and sit prod. You see, right? So now I'll walk through some pipeline. We already have it actually. So okay, okay. Let's assume that okay. So pull the code from SCM. Okay. So you got it right. We'll pass the credentials and do that. And once you build the Maven, what it will do, right? It will compile the code of Java. Okay. Once you have the code available locally in the jar file, you have to make the Docker build. Okay. So build the thing, right? You have to mention that Docker build. So Docker build will what it will do, right? It will build the Docker locally. Okay. So you will get that image, right? Once you got the image, it will be like it will deploy the image is something like it will upload the image to Docker Hub. Okay. So making easy understanding, just I'm putting into a general terminology. Okay, Docker Hub. Okay. Once you have the Docker Hub uploaded, right? So deploying into Kubernetes. Okay. So based on that Kubernetes, you will just have that dit deployment. Okay. Um, Kubernetes dit deployment. Same thing. You have a dit deployment for SID deployment and prod deployment. Okay. In between, you will have an approval state where manager or above lead, they're approved and they are willing to promote to prod. So they will send the approval. So once they approve, it automatically pipeline will automatically trigger and it will deploy that. Okay. So I think we have 30 minutes time now. So let's have an open forum. So yeah, I think you guys can unmute yourself. I think you guys can able to unmute yourself, right? Yeah, let me know if you have any specific questions on this. And regarding a few of the members yesterday, they asked, right, what is the most things, right? Most interview questions in the Kubernetes are something mostly in theoretical part, and measure the cases. This is what they usually ask the commands, how to roll out any version, or how do you log in a Docker container and see whether you have installed the latest version or not. What how mostly we use the hem. Actually hem is the algorithm where so I'll try to show you one sample thing. So I'll take one more 5 minutes and I'll stop show you what is the hem. Actually hem is a standard framework, okay? So or else we called as a framework where it will help us to deploy the application as simple, okay? So for a basic example, I just show you a deployment.yaml file, right? And this deployment.yaml file. But in real time, we'll have n number of functions, okay? We have 5 types of things, 5 YAML files, so it should be combined together, okay? So, okay. So one is a deployment.yaml file. In deployment.yaml file, you will have all the, it will have the images where you have to download and all together. And other is a service, okay? Service YAML file is a critical one. So you want to, what service need to be exposed to the outside, okay? So because what is the port number and what is the service name and all together, you can see that. The third will be the ingress, okay? Ingress is something where this URLs are something to be publicly accessible. For example, if you are deploying some Minikube, right? Minikube dot dot career IT, okay? careerid.com. So URLs to be, and then will be the final will be the config map and seal secrets. Example, see what is the seal secrets and all together, right? So one of the service you deploy that has to be integrated with the DB, okay? And for to integrate DB, you have to pass the DB credentials. So DB credentials cannot be exposed in the YAML file. Should not expose it into an YAML file. That DB credentials, what do you do, right? Usually you create a seal secret, okay? kubectl, okay? Create secret. Secret name should be like DB secret, okay? DB secret, okay? Literals equal to username, okay? So you will mention as a DB username, okay? DB username equal to Scott, lateral, sorry, not equal to, okay? Okay, DB password, okay? Equal to tiger. Just you will create this thing. So once you get, so I can run this here and I can try to show you as well. Most probably syntax, I'm not sure, but let's see. We'll search for the syntax. Okay. We'll take the syntax from the Google. Either you can create from the file or else you can create from the command line arguments also. Let's see. Okay. Okay. So this is what, okay. You can create from the file, mention it, or else you can create from, okay, this is from laterals, okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, secret type you have to mention. What is this? Secret is generic. Okay, generic type of secret. Shorthand. Okay. So DB secret has been created. Okay. So if you want to see what is the secret here, so you can get secrets. So DB secret has a two data variables. Okay. Okay. And what is the data variables also you can get it. Okay. So kubectl get secret name. Okay. YAML file. So it always show you an encrypted password, but you cannot get the passwords, but you can show what is the variables you have passed. Okay, DB pass and DB username. Okay, so what is the advantage of this, right? So you will create a DB secret into one secret, and you'll start using that into this configuration file. Okay, so you just call with I'll try to show you an example. Okay, this one thing service ingress, and final one will be the horizontal auto scaling. Okay, horizontal auto scaling. Okay, this is what where you mention what is the min instance and max instance, and based on what resources. Example, so previously I show you, right? If CPU utilizations and memory utilization are more than into a particular percentage of 70, so from min instance is a basic runtime instance. Whenever you start up, it will take the min variable and it will start up with min. Example, if you give a 3, it will start up with 3, and if you give a maximum as 10, based on the CPU utilizations, it will try to reach 3 to 10 max. Okay? These are 5 things have been crucial for creating an end-to-end Kubernetes service. Okay, for that, what you have to do, right? Till date, so you have to apply one by one. Okay, Kubernetes apply -f deployment.yaml example. Okay, then service.yaml. So instead of doing all these 5 steps into for one deployment, so what hem will do, right? Hem will help you to just run one file. Okay, I'll try to show you that as well. Apply config map.yaml. Okay. Ingress and HPSA horizontal auto scaling HPAS. Okay. Okay, this files. Okay. So it will create a one deployment. Instead of that, what hem will help you, right? Hem will create a templates. Okay. There's a template folder in Hem. So what it will do, right? It will have all the templates like deployment.tpa. Okay. And so service.tpa, ingress.tpa, all TPS and templates will be available here. So what we do, right? You just create one file called values.yaml file, and in that you will mention all the variables which is required. Okay. Example, you required what is the variable min. Okay. In values.yaml, you will have a 5 sessions. One is deployment session, one is config session, same thing. Okay. Config map session, service session. Okay. HPA session, and What we have other thing is ingress session. Okay. In whatever session you require, you just pass the variable. So in horizontal scaling, you will mention min is equal to 1, max is equal to 5, or okay, CPU 60%. Okay, if CPU is 60%, you have to do that. Okay, in the deployment, you will just mention what is what. Other default variables will be taken from the deployment dot template. Okay, so if you want to, once you have done that, so the command is hem install. So hem install and release name. Okay, if you want to do that, minikube, and just to mention where is the chart located. Okay, hem charts. Okay, hem charts directory, and the file. Okay, values dot ml file. I'll try to show you one thing. So okay, the tutorial you have go KTest. Okay, and this so this is what. Okay, and in the hem chart, so if you see that there's a values.ml file, right? So in values.ml file, so you just what is the service? Okay, in the service you just mention what is the name of application, what is the port number. I initially told, right? Service will always expose it to service and the port number. Okay, so in the service and port number, and in the deployment tag you just mention where is the repo you have to get it. Okay, and if you need to require to mention, you can mention, or else you can leave empty. So what it will do, right? So it will go to templates directory usually and read the basic templates whatever we have it. Okay, so we already have a deploy.ml file. Okay, and this is all like in a variables. Okay, so it doesn't have any values, but usually whatever hem will try to read it, hem will try to read the values from values file and will substitute into this template and will create the YAML files whatever we require into this 5 YAML files, and it will do just a single command. So what you have to require is you just require one whatever one values file is enough instead of creating a 5 YAML files, where hem will help you to create that 5 YAML files with help of one values.yaml file, and it will try to install all the things. Okay, hem install is one thing, and if you want to redeploy or something, you can do hem upgrade. Okay, if you want to see the hem list, you can see the hem list. Okay, hem rollout is one more option where you have to roll out back to things. Okay, and hem delete, so you doesn't want to have that hem delete, and you'll have other options as well. Okay, so hem status. Okay, just you want to get one, I'll try to get one thing. Okay, so I'll install one hem. Okay, so I'm just adding this repo here. So hem repo is something like I'm just adding the thing. So I think it's already added. So I'll download the code and do that. Okay, so I'm installing the hem. Sorry, not this. So I'll install this. Okay, it will take some time. What I'm trying to do, right? Instead of creating locally, so what I'm doing is I'm taking from an external repo. Okay, so I install one hem. So now you can see that. Okay, so ingest controller is one of the thing where I installed. What I'm trying to do, right? I added the repo, and I added the repo where all this. So maybe you can see this. Okay, you can go to the, in this repo where we can find this ingress index engine. So usually, okay, yeah. So it will take all the YAML files and everything from here, and it will start deploying things. Once it is deployed, you can see the hem list, right? Hem list, and also if you want to delete that, you can delete hem. So if you do right, okay, you can do hem delete, or else hem uninstall also you can do that. Hem uninstall will uninstall the thing, but it will not serve the traffic. But hem delete will entirely delete from your hem repos. Okay. Uninstall. Is it right? Uninstall is just it will put it into buffer, but it will not show you. Whenever you require, it will automatically pull back. I think for now I'll stop here. Let me know if anything specific. We'll see in the chat. Anyone has. Yeah, please unmute yourself and let. And moreover, AWS, right? So if you have no questions, I'll just take a few minutes and I'll wind up our meeting today. So you guys, right? You know AWS, right? So AWS is one of the cloud leading where. Okay. So I'm sorry, give me a second. So I have to stop this instance quickly. Okay. So if you want to create any server in AWS, we called as an instance here. So we have a number of things here. We called EC2. We have a things. Okay. One is compute. In the compute, you can see how to create an instance and all together. Okay. And in the storages, you will see the what is the file system if you want to require. Okay. Sorry, something happened. Okay, sorry. Someone was asking, can you please share any sample resume? How to prepare for an interview? Okay, okay. So let's be specific for an interview now. I'll someone share the sample resume later on. We can reach the organizers for the resume and all together for an interview questions, right? So Kubernetes most probably. So they will ask what is the hands-on experience on the Kubernetes. Okay. What is your roles in the Kubernetes? So whether you are creating a cluster or you are installing, most probably what I think, right, you just require the knowledge of what is but most probably the most interview questions I just short out the Kubernetes. So I'll tell you what is the things. Okay. Okay. Usually, so they will ask what is the master node and what is the worker node. Okay. The Kubernetes. And in coming to master node, what are the major components of master node and what it serves the purpose? In the master node, we have a kubectl service, right? And what is the cluster? What kube controller and what is the kube scheduler? Okay. So as a I'll tell you what a higher level view, but you just need to theoretically read this and you have to by heart the thing. But if you understand the logic, maybe you can explain the thing. If you go to Kubernetes architecture, you will try to get your right. What is a master node or controller node? You will call it as a controller node or master node. Okay. And other nodes are in the worker node. Okay. If you go to architecture diagram, so all Kubernetes questions will be 99% of the architecture diagram. So if you understand what is the architecture diagram and how you go that, you will understand the things. Okay. let me show you the architecture diagram. So what is a master node or what is a controller? Master controller node, it will be one, okay? And what is a worker nodes, okay? Or we call it a slave nodes, okay? Okay. Okay. So first of all, this is a controller node, right? So this is a master node, okay? So what is the major components in the master node, right? So what I told you, right? We call as a kubectl server, or we call as an ECTD, okay? Okay. And then we have a controller. Sorry, one second. We have a controller and other is a scheduler, okay? And what is a kube API? Kube API is a central point where users will contact users or something like, yes, the user you how to interact with kubectl, right? Sorry, how to interact with the kube server, right? So kubectl is a command line argument where you will connect to a kubectl API, and then internally it connects to a control manager, scheduler, and all together, and it will understand where the other nodes are available, and it will equally distribute your pod running on the things, okay? So sorry, are you getting understand, or maybe I'm just giving a high level view. So based on architecture diagram only, most of the things will be there, okay? So what are the default namespaces? So what are the namespaces available in Kubernetes, okay? For each cluster, we will have a default, okay? Default is one of the things, and then you will have a kube system and queuing system. So these are the things where it will be there for default each cluster. For each cluster, we will have this default namespaces. And this is a major question where this asks first, what are the list of Kubernetes objects? I think if you got what is the deployment process, you will get to know actually. So this is all interrelated to the things what you deploy. Okay, so deployment service index contains and horizontal, right? The same way. So as objects, you have a multiple objects. You will have it. Okay, one is pods, other is RS. RS is a replicate sets actually. And services, volumes, config might, stateful sets, daemon sets, and cron jobs. And what are the different services in the Kubernetes? It will be the cluster IP, node IP, and external names, load balancer. Well, most of the questions have been theoretical, but if something specific to a deployments, what is your role, right? If you're working on the deployments and all together, mostly they'll ask how to scale a deployment, how to get a deployment, or how to get how to stop the services, or how to roll out into a older version. Like I have a deployment issues. I could not bring up the container, so it is failing to get back the thing. So I want to roll out to the previous version. Okay. So I don't want to. I just want to deploy the some pod, but I don't want to get external user to traffic in. So what do you do, right? You run this deployment path. So if you see deployment history, you will have a number of histories. Example, if you have a 5 revision 5, that means you have till date 5 deployments that happen. So if you want to roll out to a particular version, so kubectl roll out, what is the deployment name, and just you put it into that version, okay? So you want to roll out into 4 for the deployment, for the deployment of CTL, okay? So it will roll out into one version, and that is a stable version, okay? So let's assume that you have that 4 versions now, and if you deploy that, it will automatically change into 5, and the 5 which is not working, so you want to roll back to some previous version. So this is a command where you will roll back to the previous version, and it is already stable and working, right? So it will solve the traffic. Do you really need to add any project names in the resume? No. So project names doesn't require, but you should mainly put roles and responsibilities what you are trying to do. So let's assume that do not put all such junk in the resumes, okay? Because what I'm trying to say, right? Then if you know Kubernetes, Docker somehow, and other things, you just put it, okay? Documents for roles and responsibilities. Okay, definitely I will share that. Okay, not right now, but I'll send it to the career IT team. Maybe you can take it from there. Usually the DevOps responsibilities will be like maintaining the environment and productivity. So mostly, so it doesn't, one thing you have to be a DevOps engineer, okay? So you should be more accountability for what you do, okay? So one thing is if that something deployment is failed or something deployment is not working, immediately you have to roll back into the previous version and make the environment to be stable. Okay, more than the latest version, you have to have the stable version in the environment, and you should not get customers to be downtime. That is what the major responsibility is. Okay, so you never allow your customer to get or not accessible any page or any service. Okay, even though it doesn't have the latest features, our priority should be always to have the stable version. Okay, anything else? You guys are really interested to having the real time things, right? So after this batch, right, what I will try to do, right, I will try to set up all the things, okay? So you'll do the hands-on things, okay? So for now, I'll just guide you what to do and how to do, and maybe we just create one project from starting Git, Ansible, Jenkins, Java, Kubernetes, and everything. You will start working on a hands-on thing where I will be monitoring and assigning the task. So let assume that you will be a part of organizations, and let assume as a part of lead, I will assign the task, and you start executing, and you'll feel the hands-on thing. Okay. So how real-time task will assign, how you will be start looking, and what are the challenges you have, how to overcome the challenges, and what are the issues you will have it. Okay. Routine tasks. So the specific on the project. If you are into a new project, you have to write all the playbooks. Okay, and all the things. Other than that, if you already went to a maintenance project, so usually all the CI/CDs will already there, and automatically, like whenever the developer or whenever the user has committed their code, it will always run the CI/CD will automatically. If there are any challenges in the issues, maybe you will troubleshoot and find this and fix it. Okay. But if you are into a new project where you will have a good amount of work or amount of task you can do with that. But as a routine task will be like a part of CI/CD. Best practices to be followed for DevOps tools. What is in the practices? Just to get an hands-on experience is the best practices. Okay. So mostly entire all organizations will use the same DevOps tools actually. Git, Ansible, Jenkins. Okay. Most all the tools will be common for all the organizations. More or there, they will be less. Okay. Um, Okay, moreover, there will be this resort actually. The best practice is something that you have to do in a hands-on. You have to write some complex Ansible script where you can integrate into Jenkins. Do you really need to learn exactly? So not only shell actually. So now Ansible is moving on to Python. Okay, so we can write Ansible in a simple language or also in the complex language. Shell is mandatory shell is mandatory for every Ansible and thing. Because shell is a basic component, right? Python is more better, but shell is minimum basic, but Python is some little more intermediate and expert level. Yeah, we have last 5 minutes. Anything specific? Scripting as a DevOps engineer, the scripting language is mandatory, and you should have also programmatic way of thinking to writing a complex logic, but not more on development, but at least in the shell and Python you should have a Python that much not required because as if you're trying for an intermediate or basic level, shell is fine. But if you are go on experiencing, you should learn yourself as a Python. Thanks, Tim. And one more thing, maybe offline, I think we are taking the feedback, but online, I think I'm not sure. Um, Maybe you can give your feedback to your career IT so that if something I can improve myself, or maybe I'm a little more fast, or maybe whatever way I'm slow or something. Or if you want to be more specific topics to be discussed and how you are interested, you can give your feedback to your career IT so that they will come back to me. Okay. Thanks, Dave. Thanks all.
Yeah, thank you very much for your time
Thank you.
and help.
Thanks for a
Thank you,
valuable
guys.
time. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.